technology as a whole, from computer science and mathematics background, been part of a technology startup in the past that eventually was sold, and I ended up meeting Rob and Michael and the rest of the Genea team. And at that point, 2 years ago, even then, it sounded like an incredible opportunity. And since then, as Rob said, there's been a lot of exciting activity, and I'm excited to share just a short snippet of what we've achieved in the last quarter, and looking forward what we are about to do in the weeks and months to come.
Cool. Thank you, Matija. So today's agenda, we'll give, for those of you who are new and not familiar with our brand, I'll do a brief walkthrough of our business. And then we're going to really focus on the Q1 product updates overview. We'll talk about what's coming up and now Q2, and then obviously some future things in the future, and then of course Q&A as we're going through the process. Feel free to ask any questions. So, for those of you who are not familiar with Genea, we are a software company based in Southern California, out of Orange County. We've been in business now since about 2009 is when we really first got our start. And we started originally selling a product to the commercial real estate industry, specifically focused on automating overtime HVAC requests and billing in multi-tenant office properties. And it was an on-prem system. In 2011, we moved all that to the cloud and really started selling that product to about a handful of buildings. We've grown since then to over 250 million square feet of office space all over the country. And one of the big things as we've grown the business, we've also seen a need to enhance our product offering. So in 2016, we launched a second product for submeter reading and billing. And these are submeters that measure energy consumption for server rooms and water and things like that. There's a very manual process when it came to reading and billing back for submeters. And so we launched a second product. And then last in 2019, we made an acquisition. We acquired a cloud-based access control company called Secure out of Atlanta. We've brought them into the entire Genea fold, which has allowed us to roll out a third offering to not only the commercial real estate industry, but also to enterprises all over the world. It's allowed us to really give a much better solution for managing physical access in the entire enterprise. So, and so that's been incredible, just having really great growth, being able to offer new product sets, growing the business. But the thing that really separates us from any other software provider is our retention rate and our service model. So Genea takes a white glove approach when it comes to service. We have our employees on call 24/7 to really handle the needs of our customer base and their end users. So anytime, if you're in any one of our products, whether it be our access control service or an app, anything like that, you can actually log in and you can live chat with one of our employees. So if you're having an issue, just something doesn't make sense, you can actually talk to us. And by having this direct service approach, it's done a couple things. One, it's allowed us to have a 98% retention rate, which is wonderful, but it also gives us a 75 net promoter score. So not only do our customers stay with us for year over year, but they actively refer us. And we take a lot of pride in that, and really appreciate the interaction between our customers and the referrals they provide. It's hugely valuable to the business. So thank you all for all those of you, our customers who are on here learning, and supporting the business and everything we do. We very much appreciate working with you. It's been a great experience. Just to give you an idea, some of the companies that we work with, so on the commercial real estate side, we work with companies like the Irving Company and Parkway and Nuveen and Granite. So the large owners and operators of commercial real estate all over the world. We're of the top 25 owners of commercial real estate in the United States. We work with 21 of them in some capacity. And that's buildings of all shapes and sizes. We've got buildings as small as 17,000 square feet, and in buildings like One World Trade Center in New York City, which is over 3 million square feet, and everything in between. On the enterprise side, we work with companies like SalesLoft and Xero and Sumo Logic and TransferWise. We handle their locations globally to really streamline all access, credentialing, give a visibility into what's happening in every single location from one portal. And so to be able to grow, with enterprises all over the world has been very fulfilling as well. And to be able to provide that same level of service in the U.S. that anybody would get overseas has been a really big point of pride for us to be able to offer that same level of service to anybody at any time. The three main products, so we have overtime HVAC, which at a very high level, if you're a tenant in an office building and you want air after hours, we make it so you could pull up an app on your smartphone, say, I need air till 10 o'clock. We'll command the building management system to turn those points on. So we'll turn on the air. When service is rendered, so say you go from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, we turn things off. And at the end of the month, we generate all the invoice statements. So we make it really simple to bill back for overtime HVAC. On our Submeter billing product, we wanted to streamline the collection and billing process for submeters. So instead of people walking around once a month, writing down values of a meter on a clipboard and going to a spreadsheet and trying to figure out how to bill things back, we said that's just a bad use of time. So we created a software application to streamline the entire collection and billing process. And then on the access control side, it's really taking everything that you've been accustomed to in an enterprise access control solution and moving it to the cloud. And improves a lot of functionality, makes it easier to use, allows you to have one credential across the entire enterprise, allows you to really provision users from much more seamlessly across the entire enterprise. So three different products, 3 different use cases, and we're here to talk about kind of what are we doing to enhance all 3 of them. So first, let's start with overtime HVAC. So once again, if you gave a little overview of what it means, but one of the big key benefits is we can work with any building management system on the market. So if you've got a Siemens system, an Andover, a Trane, DI, you have a Tritium system, doesn't matter to us, we can integrate with it. It allows you to really have open communication between the property team and the tenants. A lot of times there's contention, if you will, when somebody says, well, why are you billing me for $500 for after hours HVAC when you're doing it through a manual work order environment? And when you automate that process and put software, and you have the ability for people to say, I need air from this time, and it tells you a confirmation screen of what it's going to cost, those things go away. So that contention between property team and tenant goes away because it's very, very clear on what you should be billed for. We provide that 24/7 support because when you look at overtime HVAC, those requests happen after hours when there's nobody at the building. So if somebody needs help in the middle of the night, they can call an 866 number or they can live chat with us. And we're going to go ahead and help facilitate any service as well. We don't charge any setup fees for the implementation of that software. So we want to make it very advantageous to bring us on. The lightning fast request, it happens immediately. So a lot of times people ask us, well, if I put this request, how do I know it's going to work? Well, you put in your request, just wait for about a minute, and then you actually hear physical equipment moving. You hear fans turning on. You'll feel air starting to circulate through the building because it is actually immediate because we're immediately communicating with the building management system. So it's a wonderful product. Before I go to Matija to really talk about the product was built and launched in 2011. It's been time and it's overdue to really make some enhancements to that product, and that's why we're so excited at Matija and our development team to really push on these big enhancements. So with that, Matija, can you talk about like what we've done, where we were, what we're doing, and kind of where we're going with the product?
Yeah, sure. And I'll start with the why, actually. So the overtime HVAC platform is great. It does its job. It provides overtime air conditioning. It does automated billing. So why change something that's working? Well, as we were rolling out to more and more customers, what we heard was more and more use cases, how we can make it even better. For example, can I make it work with my access control? So when I tap myself into the parking lot, can I start up air conditioning? Or can I have it integrated with the building amenities app? Or can I maybe integrate with the people counting software that I have in my office spaces so if there's nobody in the office, I can shut off the air conditioning that was scheduled and that way save on energy. All those are wonderful use cases. They make total and complete sense. And what we ran into is the challenges with the technology on which the old platform was built. So we set about rebuilding the overtime HVAC sort of from scratch and a new set of technologies that allow us to really open up the APIs and to work with our technology and software partners to bring all of those integrations into the platform itself. And of course, to be able to innovate and run faster ourselves. So at the end of Q1 this year, we launched a pilot of the new overtime HVAC portal that we are rolling out to early adopter candidates. So we want to be very, very cautious and careful how we roll that out. Of course, our customers are building property teams and their customers are tenants. So we want to make very sure that that transition is seamless, that we handhold all the stakeholders in the process during the migration to the new platform, and that really there are no ugly, unexpected surprises. So it's early on in the process, and our teams will be reaching out to all of our customers, and we'll be filling out a calendar of migrations to the new platform. So what the new platform brings, Rob, if you go to the next page, I already mentioned things like API-based integration with any other tool that may be in use with either property or even individual tenant spaces. We talked for a long time about single sign-on ability. Another great feature that I personally love is an ability to reach somebody for help right then and there, either through the web interface or through the mobile app. Our team and our 24/7 support extends not just to our customers, again, property teams, but also to their customers, i.e. tenants. Should they have any questions, any problems that they run into, our team is right there for anybody who needs help. So I'm super excited to roll this out, to generate a feedback from our customers and improve this important product even further in the future.
Definitely. Thank you, Matija, for, and I know the sales team, speaking from the salesperson who's been selling this the longest, we are definitely excited to bring this to market and show it to the customers. So yeah, so everybody be prepared. As Matija said, as we start to roll this out, you'll be hearing from account managers, your sales team, to really start to give you the early introduction to the new platform. So when we look at our Submeter billing product, there was, once again, that was built in 2016. So it was built on the actual old technology that supported the overtime HVAC product, and now it's been time for our facelift and enhancements to not only the product itself, but to kind of all the features and function set. So for those of you who are not familiar with our overtime HVAC, our Submeter billing product, one is that we can work any metering infrastructure that's in place. So whether you have manual meters, networked meters, it doesn't really matter to us. There's no capital expense required to put this product in. We can work with whatever is there. When you have a network situation, and more buildings are networking these meters. So if you were on our webinar 2 months ago, talking very specifically about submeter billing changes and regulations, where there's more requirements, especially in like New York City and in Seattle and here in California, to be more granular in terms of how you measure energy consumption, networking those meters back to a central recorder is going to be vital and a huge part of that. So we can help facilitate that, help with the reading and billing of those networked meters. We automate the entire invoice creation process, so we get rid of all the spreadsheets. One thing that we've learned offering this product in the last few years is that the spreadsheets that building teams are burdened with working with were prepared probably by somebody 3 property managers ago who was at the building, who probably wasn't great at Excel, and there's formulas that are incorrect, there's hard-coded data, and you got to get away from that. And by taking the software application to incorporate all the unique billings, multipliers, rollover, it eliminates a lot of the errors that occur when for submeter billing. And then we provide an audit trail. So by having everything networked, we can see immediately if a meter goes offline, because meters are weird. Everybody knows this. For our manual meters, our app takes a picture. So we have a full audit trail of a timestamp photo of every single read that was taken on a monthly basis. So if a tenant ever questions their bill, you actually have photo proof of what happened. And we've had a number of customers who've told us, this saved us from a potential lawsuit because we have photo proof. It's documented when it happened. We have other customers who told us, well, this saves from contention with my tenants, because I used to have tenants talk with me every single month to make sure I wrote down the correct meter value. Things like that, they're frankly a waste of time. We should be able to streamline this and automate it and have an audit trail through software. So that's where we're coming in. And like I mentioned, the original application was built on our old technology, so we adapted it there. And so the beauty of having Matija and our development team is that they can take what we had and say, let's modernize it, let's add functionality that we were missing, let's improve upon things that the customers have been asking us for. Because we had customers who've been working with this app for a number of years, and they said, okay, I need more, I need better functionality. Sometimes I just need a better look and feel so it looks modern. And that's all the things that Matija and the team has done. So with that, Matija, why don't we talk about what we've been doing with submeter billing?
Yeah, well, that's a great segue. So in the last quarter, the big update on submeter billing is our new mobile app for Android and iOS versions. And look and feel, although it can seem frivolous at times, it really delivers features. We see simplicity and ease of use as being one of the main features that we want to deliver through our products. So since the app was launched a few years ago, there have been improvements to the app. They were always incremental. They were always targeted to specific issues that we had. We never had to really take a step back and rethink what is the flow through the app, what makes things easier for people to do in app. So that's what we set to do in Q1 of this year, and what is now out live in the app stores. In fact, if you are current Submeter billing customers with manual meters, you have probably noticed that the app has updated and it looks quite different from what it used to look like. We also delivered a significant improvements in performance and stability and battery life with the new app. And the new kind of playing with the user experience and with the new look and feel also allowed us to build in some of those long asked for features. So for example, one of the things that we were being asked for time and time again is our QR code stickers that we put on the meters, which is how we identify the meters. They can be placed in hard to reach places. They're in the dark. The geometry of the meter device itself doesn't really allow you to capture the QR code and the face of the meter, so you have the audit picture. And for a long time, we were asked, can we have a two-step reading mode where I can identify the meter and then move my hand and take the actual photo of the meter? So rebuilding the app allowed us to insert that extra step and to really set us on a path where we can make those kinds of adjustments in user interface in the coming updates in the future. And then last but not least, you'll recognize a common theme now, live in-app chat with the Genea team. So this is the full-time staff here in Genea that, again, no matter what issues or questions or feature requests our customers think of, we are always there at the fingertips and live within the app. You can reach to a chat and ask us any questions. The nice thing about this is that we adopted a technology that kind of persists throughout the not just a single session of the app, but for the long term. To get more specific, if I ask somebody a question and I turn my app off, that conversation will continue going even if my app is turned off. If my phone is turned off, I'll get notified by email. So I have a continuous track record of all my questions and problems or whatever else I needed from the Genea team. So you can see that as a customer, and we can see it from our side as well, which gives us a much better context when we need to help out if there are any issues that arise. So let's talk about what's coming next. Since we've updated to the app, the new look and feel, adopted the new technologies, we also wanted to, again, continue improving. So one of the first things that we wanted to tackle is dark mode. Now, this is for two reasons. One is that the app stores have particular guidelines, and they favor applications that provide not just the functionality, but really good user experience. And we are very bought into the idea that user experience is yet another feature added to all the other functionality. Now, dark mode is quickly becoming a requirement for app stores, but beyond that, knowing our users who are out there in the field, reading manual meters who are often in dark corners of basements or attics, it really changes things when you have a phone that is not blinding you in a dark corner of a room, where you can actually adjust it so that you can see both the device that you're trying to read and your phone that's allowing you to do so. Another improvement that we're planning to deliver in the coming weeks and months is ability to skip reads. Now, what does that mean? What we've decided to do with a new app update is to make it more of a task-oriented approach, so that I can have a quick dashboard on my mobile device that tells me how many meters do I need to read or commission. Now, often what the teams run into, the teams who are reading meters, is that a submeter may be broken, it may be inaccessible. We even have anecdotal stories where the entire basement is flooded when we have a natural disaster occurring. So I have a situation where my device is telling me, you have to read this meter, but I can't get to that meter. Now, what we will deliver is a way to mark those meters as an alarm on them. So they'll be marked as skipped reads for that particular month. They will be highlighted to both the customer administrator and to our team, and then we can handle that manually without any meters being skipped or missed, and not there be a contingency plan how to get those read values. We also are looking into improving the look and feel of our invoices to make it a lot clearer and more legible to deliver to tenants. And then another highlighted I wanted to bring up here is that we are working on tenant portals. So this will enable property teams to actually enable insight into the archive of invoices, as well as trending of the energy use for their tenants. So each tenant, think office managers, for example, or IT managers, they would be, whoever really is given access to the online portal, they will be able to log in and they'll be able to see their energy invoices and energy history. So that's coming soon, and Submeter Billing.
Awesome, awesome, very cool. Thank you so much, Matija. It's really exciting to take that product to the next level, and we know the industry demands are asking for it. So to be able to kind of address those needs quickly is a huge deal for the customer base. So, and the part when we start talking about access control, for those of you who have now been on a number of webinars with us, you've seen us talk about access control over the last year, talk about product enhancements. We are very, very nimble and when it comes to doing product enhancement. For those of you who work directly with Matija and our development team, have firsthand experience of how quickly we can take ideas and put them into actual product and deliver it to the industry. So for those of you not familiar with access control system, I'll just do a very quick high level. It's a cloud-based access control system, so it's 100% built into the cloud. And it does a lot of things. So everything that you're accustomed to in enterprise access control system, one is we took all that functionality and we moved it to the cloud, and then we improved upon it and added more. So some of the big things that we wanted to really improve upon was the user provisioning and deprovisioning. So we made it very, very easy to add users to the access control system, to remove people either through a manual process or through an automated process by doing an API integration with Okta or Windows Active Directory or Google Workspace. So anything like that to streamline the provisioning process, we've opened up out of the box. In addition to that, we were really big on other integrations. So we have out-of-the-box video integrations with Cisco Meraki, Tyco Cloud, Milestone, ExactVision, Rhombus, and we're continuously adding new video management systems because more and more of our customers are asking us to have these two items synced together. So that way, when somebody badges in, we can capture that with the video instance at the same time. To make it really easy for any type of reporting, or if you're trying to track down, employees who come through the ADT app and say they're getting in at 8 o'clock. Well, did they physically come into the office? We want to match that up. We've also built out a visitor management solution. So we had one years ago that worked specifically on iPad, but as we, after the pandemic hit, we wanted to go to a more touchless environment. So we actually spent some development time in a matter of 4 months, built out a fully touchless visitor management solution that utilizes QR codes. So that way a visitor can pre-register, come on site, answer a series of COVID-related questions, because everything's COVID right now. It'll issue them a QR code, which they can then put into their App Wallet or their Google Wallet. And then you come to the building, you can actually use the QR code to enter a turnstile, through an elevator bank, through even a door. So it makes that whole touchless experience not only for the employees with our access control system, but for the visitors as well. And then, of course, we have a direct service and support model. So we've already talked about it numerous times here. At any point in any time, if you're using our portal, either the web portal or the mobile application, you can live chat with a Genea employee 24/7 and get help. So it's one of the big tenets of our whole business is, can we provide service to you at that direct service approach 24/7? And of course, the last thing is when you move everything to the cloud, it allows you to handle the entire enterprise from one interface. So no longer do I have to run reports at a server at a separate building. If I've got an executive that needs to go all the locations, I don't have to call ahead and add them to every single location. I can do this all from my portal or from the dashboard in a matter of seconds. I can just really sync somebody in there, add them to 5 different locations, and their single credential works across the entire enterprise. There's no more carrying around multiple white key cards. All that stuff goes away. So. And then just, one thing, of course, just adding on top of the 24/7 support. Like I talked about how important it is. Like As I said, this is a tenet of our business. So at any time somebody needs help, they can live chat with one of our employees. They can call an 866 number. We'll provide additional training and ongoing training. So for the commercial real estate market, as you bring tenants back to the building, you need to get them set up on the system. You need to get them trained. Like, if you ask yourself, how often have we trained tenants on how access control works? You've never done it before. This is a totally different model. It's usually just give them the white key card and good luck to you. We take a different approach when it comes to training and onboarding. We give access to all the integrations. There's a self-help knowledge section. So we want to make this really, really easy to use, but more importantly, be there as a software provider to help the end users utilize our system and benefit from the system. So with that, Matija, why don't we talk about some of the new things we're doing?
Yes, so the first quarter with access control was incredibly busy and again, incredibly exciting. The way that we like to develop new features and products is in close partnership with our customers. So our product development team has an uncanny skill to listen really well and deliver solutions to not just a particular customer with a particular challenge, but we always also like to think about how do we deliver this to everybody else. So there were probably dozens of features and improvements that we delivered in Q1, but I just wanted to highlight a few bigger ones. So one is the elevator destination dispatch. So this is more applicable to our commercial real estate customers. So with a couple of elevator providers, we now have the ability to control the destination restrictions of any given card holder or credential holder. This, of course, also works with mobile, where if I only have access to a particular floor in the building, now we enable that both as a use case for the end user, but also configuration in a platform in a self-service way. Continuing on with the listening to the customers theme, when we launched our touchless visitor management system at the end of last year, one of the most often requested features was, well, how do I know when I have risky people who are being invited into the office space or the building? I need a way to be alerted when a particular set of people may be on premise. So what we delivered in Q1 is just that. Now we kind of broke it down into two different flavors of that. One is the block list. So people who should never, ever be invited. So we prevent any kind of invite going out to those people before system administrator or any other designated kind of a super user role actually approves that. And then another type is a simple watch list. So this is a type of a feature where for particular people identified on the list, whenever they are invited or when they actually check in on location on site, we send off alerts via email, Slack, Teams, or webhooks so that designated people can know about them right away. Perfect use case is that whenever, in this case, whenever Susan taps in her card or phone on the main building entrance, I want to send an alert to my GSOC team and they should put the camera on her because Susan may be just a sketchy person. So that is now live as of end of Q1 in our platform. And then last on the list, but not least, a huge milestone in Q1 was the launch of our Safe Workplace. So this is a perfect example where it started with a particular use case with a couple of larger of our customers. As people were looking for a way to come back into office, the use case was, can we just temporarily disable all access keys on a set schedule, let's say every midnight, and then they'll manually facilitate people going through the health screenings and temperature checks, and then we'll enable those credentials back for them manually. So we delivered that to the back end, but then we started thinking, how do we offer this to everybody else? And the result of that was Safe Workplace. So if you go to the next page, Rob, what we delivered was a way to custom create a set of questionnaires to have it specific by either employee or visitor, to be able to push it out to different locations and have different questionnaires for different locations. And the idea here is that I, as an HR manager, as an IT manager, office administrator, I should be able to map my, in this case, COVID safety protocol right into the technology that allows people safe entry into office. We use that in our very own office. So whenever I need to go into office, I check in, I answer the questionnaire, my credentials get re-enabled, and I can let myself into the building and into the Office suite. Now, there's a laundry list of further improvements to this of, again, how do we categorize different people, both in the employee and the visitor bucket? How do we have custom flows and a host of other improvements that are coming? So speaking of what's coming on the next page, both for access control and visitor management, the laundry list is really huge, and that's a great place to be, which means that we're getting just incredible amount of feedback from our customers. Some of the highlights, global view. So for those of you who currently use Genea Access Control platform, you know that you have full visibility and control over access control system, kind of on a site-by-site basis. And what really bugs us is that you have to click on the top left corner and then go to another location to do the same exact thing. And again, listening to customers and collaborating on the solution that would bring value, we will be soon launching Global View, where you have insight into your users and hardware and alerts and ability to create emergency plans per location or across the enterprise, so that I can say, I no longer want to just be able to lock down an entire site or hold open all the doors at site. I want to get more granular, and I want to define a specific list of doors so that when I hit the button as an administrator from the web administration section or even from my phone, that only those doors get locked down. And we enable all of that configuration to the end user, to the customer, to be able to define what those plans are. Other highlights include integration with the physical badge printers. The first one on the list is HID Fargo. So the use case there is that all of those little plastic cards that you tap to the readers that allow you access, we will be providing a badge designer where you can overlay your corporate branding, put employee picture on it, name, anything else that makes sense to put on somebody's physical identification as an employee. And in one case, we have a team that is considering adding, for example, a unique individual barcode to provision perks to those employees as they scan that barcode around the corporate property. Credential watch list. This is usually called, it goes hand in hand with the feature that many call use it or lose it. So if I don't use a particular credential, let's say that little white card for 60 or 90 or configurable amount of days, we temporarily suspend it and automatically add it to the watch list, so that whenever that card gets used again, somebody needs to know about it. Why is that? Because that card is probably lost if it hasn't been used for 90 days and now all of a sudden it pops out of nowhere and somebody's trying to use it. One of the big features also that we are looking at that goes hand in hand with the badge designer is the ability to have digital badges. So it's a big push towards just a touchless future, where instead of having that little white card or printed card, I will actually be able to have my badges on my mobile device, so I can present my badge and I can use it throughout my enterprise environment for any perks that I need, access to cafeteria, depending on what services you have integrated into it. What's not on the list, but is also coming soon, is the ability to create your custom onboarding invites to your employees. So for all of our customers who use mobile credentials, what's really important is that when you send a mobile credential to employees, that first point of contact really needs to be coming from you as an enterprise. Yes, Genea is the underlying technology, but if I am a company X, let's call it, who are building a rocket to go to Mars, when I get my credential invite, I really need to know that this is coming from my company, so that branding presence is important. And not only will we enable that, we'll also create a designer that is really going to put all the control into the customer's hands about what that messaging and branding will look like. And then finally, when we look at our access control, our customer base is truly global. And what we want to do in the coming weeks and months is deliver the multinational or multilingual capabilities. We will be starting with those questionnaires. So when the visitors and employees are coming on site, when they're going through the screening questionnaires, we know that needs to be enabled in multiple languages. Even for the US-based customers, you will soon have, again, hopefully, when things go back to normal, people who are coming from other countries, and you do need that multilingual capabilities. So what we envision is that the same way that we offer customizable questionnaires. Another ability that people who are creating those questionnaires will have is to define them in multiple different languages. So there's, again, a whole lot of things on our roadmap that's coming soon over the next few months, and I can't wait for all the feedback that we'll get from our customers. Rob?
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Matija. And yeah, thank you to everybody who joined us. Like I said earlier, you know, the success of our business is big because of the customers, and the ability to enhance our product and offer things to the marketplace is because of feedback. So we love customer feedback. Matija especially does, but we take that, we listen, we enhance the product. As you know, if we're going to partner with us, we want to give you the best product offer in the marketplace. So, so with that said, if there's any questions, feel free to lob into the chat here or to the Q&A in Zoom. Matija and I will, we'll answer them to the best of our ability. Mostly Matija will answer, and or if you need something very specific afterwards, our contact information is part of the follow-up email that'll come out, and that will be going out later today. So, so I'm going to stop sharing, and I will stop the recording. But that is the end of our presentation. Like I said, we very much appreciate everybody joining us. It's been a fun ride here in the finishing up the first quarter, now starting the second quarter, and continuously adding more things to the product. So, all right, well.